Welcome back to the programme. The Duchess of Edinburgh says she's deeply saddened after an 81-year-old great-grandmother died after being hit by a member of her police escort 2 weeks ago. Joining me now to discuss it in the studio is our royal editor, Sarah Hewson. Good to have you. This is such a sad story, isn't it? How awful.
Yeah, this is really sad. This is Helen Holland. She was 81 years old, a mother of 4, a grandmother of 10, a great-grandmother of 7. And 2 weeks ago, she was crossing a road at a pedestrian crossing in West London near to Earl's Court, where she was visiting her sister, and she was hit by a motorcycle outrider that was escorting the Duchess of Edinburgh. She was taken to hospital with very severe injuries, multiple internal injuries as well as broken bones. She was in a coma. Her family had said they were hoping for a miracle, but it didn't come. And today we had the very sad news that she died, and the family said they're utterly devastated to have lost her in such tragic circumstances. They said, "We feel angry and upset that her life was cut short, and we're keen to hear more details from the IOPC, the police watchdog, which is now investigating, as soon as possible to help us understand the truth of how this happened. Helen will be sorely missed by all who knew her, and the hole she's left in our hearts will never be filled." She was 81, but she led a very full life. She enjoyed long, muddy walks with the dogs, enjoyed lunches out with friends, being with her big family.
I would just like to say that, you know, we would like to express our condolences on behalf of everybody, our friends and colleagues here at TalkTV, and I'm sure everybody listening and watching this afternoon. What a terrible loss of such a wonderful woman. It's really a real matriarch, and it's such a shame. So I know the Duchess of Edinburgh has said how sorry she is.
She said that she's deeply saddened about this, and her condolences to the whole of the Holland family. And I do understand that she will be making contact with them privately to express those condolences as well.
It's just a horrible accident. What a terrible shame. I'm sure we'll find more information about that in due course. Now, the King and Queen are busy. They're in Northern Ireland.
Yes. Now, this is their first visit to Northern Ireland since the coronation. They were there in September after the death of the Queen, but rather a more celebratory mood today, because they were there to open a special coronation garden. Now, this was in Newton Abbey and north of Belfast, and it was a disused bowling green.
Right.
And as a community project, they decided to build a coronation garden designed by the gardener Dermot Gavin.
Dermot Gavin is my actual friend in real life, and I really adore him. He's the guy that was responsible for that incredible installation at the Chelsea Flower Show. Do you remember where the Chelsea pensioners went up and down in transparent lifts?
Well, there are...
I mean, he's one of the most exciting, interesting, you know, quirky garden designers on earth.
Quirky is the word. And he really made the King and Queen laugh today, because the garden has this huge ironwork structure with a crown on the top and a glitter ball in it. And every 15 minutes it plays music, Pure Imagination from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, or Bring Me Sunshine from Morecambe and Wise. And then the trees and the topiary start spinning round and dancing. And Camilla was looking at it and took a big step back, and she said, "I've got to look more closely. What's going on? Are there leprechauns in there? What's happening?" So they were very taken with it. And it also is in keeping with their keen interests. So it is a sustainable garden and lots of wildflowers and pollinators for bees and butterflies.
I mean, the thing about Dermot Gavin's gardens is they're unlike anyone else's. And if you go to Chelsea, which I have done this year to the Chelsea Flower Show, the gardens are very beautiful. There's no question about it. They're exquisite, they're beautiful, they're very subdued of palette. You know, they're all very pale green, pale white, very palest mauve. There's nothing humorous or unexpected. They're just beautiful. Dermot Gavin does a whole different thing. I mean, it's completely full of fantasy and fun and kind of, you know, it's a world of imagination. That's why that's perfect music to play, isn't it?
Yes, and he said it was designed to be whimsical.
Yes.
And to appeal to the King and Queen's sense of humour, and he certainly has.
And he really did. So that's great. That's a lovely story. Then we have Mike Tindall, who really just does seem to be a good egg, doesn't he? And having seen him in I'm a Celebrity, you know, you can really expose yourself in these kinds of reality shows, as I found to my cost. And he somehow managed to come out smelling of roses, and just he does very well at that, doesn't he?
He really does, and he's been talking on his podcast, The Good, the Bad and the Rugby, about what it was like to be at the coronation, and in particular his seating. Now, he was in the 4th row, just behind Prince Harry, and he said that it was incredible but also a bit frustrating because despite being at the front, you couldn't actually see. I think we've got his words here,
Shall I read this? You're in the hottest spot, but it's happening all around the corner where you can't see. You do have a front row seat, seat, and it was unbelievable being sat there, but it is frustrating.
Yeah, so he said it's all going on around the corner, but what we learned from him as well was they actually had TV screens mounted on the pillars.
Did they?
So those who couldn't see the actual moment of crowning could watch it on a TV like we did. He also revealed that he was absolutely desperate to get up and dance during the coronation concert.
When? Why? Oh, in the concert?
Concert, not just...
I thought you meant in the actual...
not in the Abbey.
Coronation.
Not in the Abbey. Well, that would have certainly stolen the moment, wouldn't it?
And did he get up and dance?
He did, but he said Lionel Richie was playing all night long.
Yeah.
He thought, you can't not dance to this, but what do? I really hope the King gets up and then we can. And of course the King did get up.
And is that protocol? You've got to wait for the King to get up?
Well, I wasn't sure in a scenario like that.
I know you can't go home before the King.
Yes, but they got up and danced, and he said he was looking forward to a dance with Kermit the Frog.
Yeah.
He also revealed, and he talked about this on I'm a Celebrity, that he has a famous dance move where he drops to the floor, and he really wanted to do that, but he was a bit worried that the coronation wasn't the weekend to split his trousers.
No, I think we may have seen him doing that in the jungle, actually.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, I think he's and also he's a heck of a rapper, isn't he? He's a secret closet rapper.
He is.
He really is. So he turns out to be a great sort of ornament to the royal family, doesn't he, Mike Tindall?
I think, you know, he demystifies the royal family in the right kind of way. And when we talk a lot, you and I talk a lot, Vanessa, about how they need to appeal to a younger audience and a different audience. And someone like Mike Tindall, a professional sports person who has a whole different fan base, loves a drink, loves a party, and says it how it is. And actually, he never crosses the line. He always manages to just get it right.
Thank you so much.